Thank you kindly. Appreciate it.
There was also this number.
Alrighty, so we have Red here with us and Scott's.
We have the return of the art festival. Here we are with Red, a special artist. He has brought to us today some charcoal renditions of his perception of art, and we definitely like to take a look at what his perception is on charcoal art as far as light source, his medium, what the paper he used was. Everything goes that involves the artwork process. What do you have for us today?
I have right here, this is my rendition of Trash Poker. Got a little small art. This right here.
Now,
Let's get a close-up of this one here.
Now, what inspired to have a woman walking on the pier and having it deep inside of the skull as far as like the psyche goes?
That's what I've been wanting to know about.
Stippling with the dots, or why you mix
When I
certain
created that specific piece of art, I created it with my nephew and mine. And he went through a little troublesome times with his mother. His mother was depicted in here walking away on the pier, walking away, but she had moved to a different state. And he's still here with me today. And this is his tattoo. And I had created it in charcoal first. And you see the depth to a certain situation where the birth is the next. And you see the trash poker in the behind. I just thought it was a nice little background.
Yeah, no doubt. This went on skin.
But there's some writing in here also in the background.
Now, did you keep this background light for a reason? Did you keep it shaded out because you didn't want it to be too bold? Did you want to keep it as...
I didn't want to take too much attention off of the skull and the woman on the pier.
Yes.
Her importance for she's walking away into the pier, into the horizon.
Right.
The balance on everything is, I'd say, perfect. You know, it's the perfect amount of solid black, gray tone, and light highlight.
I'm definitely digging the charcoal, but I mean...
That right there is tone gray paper.
Yeah.
And it's just black charcoal pencils. The soft, medium, and hard with white charcoal as well.
Now, are you listening to specific music? Are you watching certain TV shows? I mean, we know that this is inspired by your nephew and the things that he's gone through in his life, but you derive this based upon stuff in your life. Is there a specific reason why we have? I mean, we know that your nephew and his mom's walking away on the pier, but you have to derive something based upon your life for that pure image, or based on
Yes,
your
because
skull and that
there is
image.
obviously a lot of emotion in it, basically, is what he's saying. Like,
Right.
how much of your personal experience do you think you threw into it to create such a powerful
on top
image?
of your nephew's correct. Yeah,
You are
absolutely.
family, so you kind of feel him.
I have family. I mean, I've raised him since he was.
So you know the story firsthand all the way.
When he was a young child from Dominican Republic. And when he came, we took on that responsibility, and I took him under my wing. And so I've seen the ins and outs. I've seen the hardships that he has dealt with, and reaching out for that relationship with his mother, and watching that not unfold how he thought it was going to unfold. So his basis or understanding of reality that he exists in is a manifestation of his experiences. So when he asked me to design him a tattoo,
This is what inspired.
this is the tattoo that I
That's
came up
beautiful.
with.
It's definitely beautiful. It's definitely deep. I love it. So how long did it take you to create this?
It's about 4 hours of charcoal.
Oh, not too bad, not too
Oh,
bad. So
yeah.
how long have you been drawing?
Drawing to present to people?
Yes.
Probably about 2 years.
How about
And then
drawing in general?
together.
But drawing all together, I've been drawing since I was a child.
Yeah.
I wasn't really serious with it until I jumped into the profession tattoo.
Absolutely.
Nice.
So one of my favorites here that is inspired is definitely the Egyptian elongated skull. If we can
Yes,
bring this
tell us about
forward,
that.
This is definitely
I remember talking to you at Slinging Ink about this particular piece.
Absolutely.
Can you tell our audience more?
the super light shaded hieroglyphs, the super dark shaded pyramids with the silhouette of the person riding the camel, the super light highlights where he doesn't overdo the highlights in charcoal where you can overdo highlight with white. I mean, it's just immaculately precision behind everything. To me, this is a perfect piece of art.
I love the placement of the sun.
Oh yeah,
Like right on that, like that
Right
on the
here?
membrane, that connection
Yeah.
of the brain and the spinal,
I
the
think
spine
it's awesome.
right there.
I think it's awesome.
absolutely.
I don't know if that was something you meant to do, or you know,
Well, I definitely,
art falls into place
I definitely
perfectly
do,
sometimes.
Study a lot of kinetic science, and the pineal gland is definitely a topic of that I have definitely learned and educated myself on. So by that sunlight coming from there, that's gonna be the manifestation of the pineal gland being right there, and the pineal gland being your connection to other worlds through a higher state of consciousness. If you allow your pineal to be decalcified,
Absolutely. Yes.
For sure, absolutely, man.
Yes.
Great minds think alike, and this is why we have this piece of art right
So
now.
yes, just this little part right here has so much meaning.
It speaks.
Yes.
It's loud.
Definitely.
Very.
High
Bring out these
contrast,
portraits,
everything.
Please. Like, these are amazing. To me, the light and the interpretation between the jewelry and the
know.
shading the light with the eye and
The
That's my
eye.
favorite
That's
part,
one thing I
yes.
want to pinpoint on.
There's actually two eyes.
As most of us artists, you know, throughout our learning,
entire
eyes,
career.
Art-
eyes and hands are some of the hardest things to like really pinpoint.
You want to know the true meaning of an artist? Ask him to pick up a pencil and tell him to draw a set of hands.
Yes.
If he can't draw a set of hands, if an artist can't pick up a pencil and say, hey, let me draw you a set of hands holding, you know, the Sacred Heart of Life or a face or a portrait or of anything, if you can't draw a set of hands or just the basis outline of a face or a silhouette of a face, you definitely don't want to go with that artist. So something like this is just the light interpretation between the
Well, depending
eyes.
on the type of art you're going for. Now, as far as like him knowing his anatomy, he's on point.
Agreed.
Yeah,
You know, now
exactly.
no doubt.
Definitely. I mean, just the structure of the neck
It's
and the
beautiful.
shade.
The small details of shade.
It's definitely
I
the
see
detail.
that.
Attention to detail means more in a portrait than anything else.
This is what I like to show people who look at art outside of tattooing also. You know, it's like there's small details throughout this.
The beads,
That
the
make
lobe
it-
hanging from the ear, the weight of the earring.
The slight
over
transition
years.
in that shadow on her chin where your hand just was.
Oh, absolutely.
All of that.
right
it's
here.
perfect.
Yeah, the jawline. Even the statue.
I
of-
like this right here. And
I mean,
there's an eye. You have
and-
to really look deep into that.
Absolutely, and this statue's, you know, where they stand in the tribe. I mean, just they're sanctioning it. Even here, she's probably a princess or something, and they took the time to realize that this is what was important for it to stand out.
So let's ask Red, what inspired you to create this?
this is actually a request from a model and jewelry designer in New York. Her name is Rain Apim Supreme on Instagram.
What's her name again?
This picture is Rain Apim. I believe Supreme is her name, but I know it's Rain Apim. But she creates jewelry that she has right here. That's depicted right here. This is the photo that she took.
It's a very
Very
primitive
cool.
artwork.
So that's her.
That's her.
Oh, wow.
Gorgeous.
She's beautiful.
Primitive artwork, amazing charcoal, lighting source. I definitely want to take a look at this one
I
more
would
time.
honestly call it modern primitive. There's like
And
there's a lot to be said about that one particular.
Oh,
To me,
yes.
if
like
you look
it.
like Michelangelo, Leonardo, there's very statuesque paintings and portraits and sculptures. To me, this would be one of them. You have the light source, the hair, the texture of the hair.
The
You know
overall
it-
shape of this is amazing. I
Right.
love it.
You know, if you run your hands through this hair, what it's going to feel like. You know, if you run your hands across her jawline, how smooth it's going to be. If you run your hands across her shoulder, how round it's going to be and where it curves.
Yes.
Every single light and shading and the highlight of the earrings and the eye and underneath the cheekbone. And to me, in something like this, more than anything, the detail matters because it brings everything to life. More than anything. I mean, just if you look at this, to me, it's simplicity art. It's simple, renowned, and just focal pointed. There's nothing you can't look at that isn't a focal point on this piece of art.
Very true. Now we know we love this piece, so you tell us, Red, more about what. Do you have a title for it?
I do not at the moment.
No.
We want to get framed and then be at the show.
What state of mind were you in at the time when you drew this one, or what were you listening to? Tell us more. Like how many
music
hours?
involved? Was there video involved?
Dive in.
Into too much music. If anything, I've been a part of the conscious community for a long time. I've definitely based my art on my understanding of history and what I feel is important to portray as a message. I look at these women and I see creating. I see these women as creating the creating force. So I'm gonna put all that energy into that because I'm trying to create a piece of art of a depiction of the creator, because without the woman there would be no creation.
And they look very powerful. Just looking at
This
them.
is womb man.
Yes.
This is womb man. There's man and then there's
Yes.
Get it right.
Right.
Oh,
Red knows
yes.
what's up. Red
not
knows
you.
what's up. Thank you,
Yeah,
Red.
absolutely. Completely agree. Absolutely.
All right, we're at 10 minutes here. Red, is there any more? Can you give us like your information, where you're working, any websites, information on if people want commission work, tattoos, anything? Let us know.
I work at Extreme Tattoos and Body Piercings inside of Rolling Oaks Mall. Excuse me.
Rolling Oaks
do
Mall,
commission
folks, here in
work,
San Antonio.
I do commission work at all. I do family portraits. I can pretty much produce anything. I like to stay in the realm of realism. I believe that art has made progression to the point where if we have the ability to create something that is realistic, then why not? There are different mediums that artists venture into, and all of them are good. All of them are well. This is just the one that I choose to
Dive
to spend my time and to dive right into. I love portraits. When I do tattoos, I love doing portraits. I love doing realistic. I do black and gray realism. That's my specialty. I also do the geometric patterns, sacred geometry, and all. I've studied sacred geometry thoroughly, and my understanding it also ties into my hunt for the knowledge of history. So when I was on that hunt for history, sacred geometry just fell in there because that is a part of history and our understanding of everything. So within my artwork, you're gonna see a lot of geometrical lines, a lot of sacred geometry, a lot of patterns, a lot of I like to do a lot of stippling, a lot of gray wash. I do color with my artists when clients ask me to, but if I can convince them otherwise, I'm gonna have them do black and gray.
You prefer black and gray.
Because black ink is carbon based, and carbon withstands the test of time.
Bold holds.
Very deep.
Color ink
Very deep,
is
Red.
mineral based, and you will need a touch up in the next
Yes.
5 to 10 years.
So you
Yes.
use your education as your foundation and a base
True indeed.
to provide for all forms of art that you provide: charcoal, ink, pen, paper, whatever you're doing. You're using the foundation of that as a base.
True indeed. True indeed.
Absolutely, I completely agree 100%.
I like to offer the art world something that I don't commonly see in the art world,
Agreed.
or within certain circles. So I only see a certain type of artwork, so that's not what I'm going to produce. I'm going to produce what is not commonly seen, or what is not commonly seen as beautiful, or what is not commonly seen as important, or just something that would intrigue your mind into study a little further. When you look at this, there's a lot to be seen in this.
Yeah, so many
So you just have to look, and you have to see, okay, with the elongated skull.
Interpret.
Why was
Yeah.
it elongated?
And interpret the hieroglyphs, and interpret the silhouette of the man riding the camel, and interpret the pyramids, interpret every single thing about it. And that's one of the things that I love the most about this specific piece of art is that so many renditions of history in forms of art, in forms of hieroglyphs, in forms of understanding anything about this piece of art brings entireties of education into one piece of art. Like
Yes.
generations of education comes into this one. Why is a skull elongated? Why is there a man riding a camel? Why is there hieroglyphs? And does it all make sense as one?
Let's not give it all away yet. You gotta come to the show to get this
Agreed.
stuff, okay?
Agreed.
So
Agreed.
don't answer that just
Yes,
yet.
and if you
If you want
get
to come
more
out to
detail-
Devil Inside, let's close out
Yes,
here.
if you want to get more in
Yeah, but that's
detail
great.
and meet Red, you can catch him July 22nd and 23rd at Frankie Diablo's.
Remember that face,
in
folks?
the meantime,
Yes.
you can see more of my artwork on Instagram at Inkslingers210. So that's INKSLINGERS 210. If you want to look at me on Facebook, it's at Red Davis at Facebook. So you can look me up on the search section of that.
Is that red with one D or two
Or
D's?
2Ds, like Red Fox.
Red with two D's on Facebook. You have to clarify because sometimes you can't find people because
I will
social
definitely
media is
remember that. It will be right
R-E-D-D.
point like this underneath the screen. You say, "Look here."
right here.
There we go.
Devil Inside.
Devil.
The study of the artistic mind.
You can visit me
Join
on
us.
social media sites.
Facebook, Twitter.
All right,
knock
go
out
ahead and let's
YouTube,
close this out.
subscribe.
Alrighty, guys. Well, we'll see you July
Devil Inside.
22nd, 23rd.